Distribution. Very similar to accumulation, just the opposite direction. So instead of going up with accumulation, we are going to be going down with distribution. We are distributing things down. We're giving them out to people, which drives price lower. Very similar as step one is the consolidation, aka the liquidity buildup. And then step two, we sweep the top this time and then drop beneath the bottom. So this time, you want to mark up the lows that we break beneath. You want to see full body candles close beneath the lows. And this time, we are sweeping the top. Right, price swept the top, made all the sellers think that price is going to go higher, hits all these sellers stop loss, price drives up and then immediately sells off. Boom. So now price is distributing. Step one, liquidity. Step two, the sweep. Step three, the break of structure. And then we all know what step four is by now, is boom, a retest of that structure. You have your sell limits right in there for price to then continue lower. And again, it doesn't always have to hit this perfectly and drop. Sometimes it goes deeper because our stop loss is where? Boom, up there. If this high is supposed to be protected, and if this setup is actually valid, then hey, that's a solid stop loss. And to confirm, I forgot to go over this. I think I went over this in the other video for the accumulation, but for the confirmation, again, because just because price is coming to your nice Picasso painting setup doesn't mean it's going to be respected. Like I said before, all these setups can be used as liquidity as a whole. You may have the perfect setup, but that whole thing can be clapped. But for further confirmation, just because price comes here doesn't mean it's valid. So to confirm that, you want to wait for the same thing to happen again. You want to wait for that consolidation, the sweep, the break below, and then step four, that retest, and then you want to see that drop. Once you have this, like the confirmation happening inside of the original, then you're good. And this process can repeat multiple times. Like the confirmation can happen again. It can happen again and again and again. It just dive deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. Price can come up here, give you another one, boom, maybe sweep that and then drop, boom, and then retest. And this retest is giving you another confirmation. Boom, boom, drop, and then maybe it just keeps happening over and over. Like this is a very possible scenario. It can happen 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, especially on higher time frames. It can happen over and over. So be prepared for that as well. But if you see that happening inside of the original one that you saw, that's very good. You want to see that. You want to see that happening. So that's a very good confirmation right there. Only thing I would argue that would make this invalid is say price came back and you started to see some accumulation instead. You're like, oh, and then price does something like this and then breaks above, you could be in trouble. You may even think, oh, but we swept, right? And then we dropped below, but then price came back and broke the highs. Like, now price may be wanting to shift higher because this was the original, but we're not really getting any true distribution confirmations. We had one initially. We had one here. It was cool. We thought I think everyone thought it was valid. Everyone was going crazy in the chat. We're like, yeah, it's a sweep right there, and then we broke structure to the downside. Yeah, it's valid. Yeah, but then maybe here there was some sort of accumulation that price respected, and then boom, it allowed us to make new highs, break above these. Now we're cooking. Prices said, oh, you know what? Never mind. I want to go higher. And then comes back for that retest. Boom. Gone. This can happen as well. So be prepared for a lot of these scenarios. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. That's why it takes all of us to stick together, be active in the chats, share what we're seeing, ask questions, get feedback, share the charts. All of us, just imagine 100 people with this knowledge working together as a unit, studying one chart, two charts, Bitcoin, gold, NASDAQ, all dialed in on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, tackling this together. There's really no excuse. And I'm so excited. So excited. Let's get it. But that's distribution. Well, actually, I should show you an example on the live example. Here we go. Boom. In order for price to move down, it has to create some sort of distribution. So you have a high, a low, another high, and then we do break structure. Full body candles beneath previous lows right in there. So what do? You mark it up. You mark that up. Go ahead. As we see, this was the break, this full body candle beneath these lows. You just drag it out. Just drag it out. And what happened? Stop loss again. You know where the stop loss is, up there. Boom. Technically, this was the sweep on a higher time frame. Right now, it's the daily. It's probably a sweep on the weekly. Let's just see, or the monthly. Still, it's right here. Monthly. Maybe. It's not. But it doesn't matter. Same thing. Maybe on the 2-month or 3-month it is. On one of the time frames it will be. Still same concept. But I'm not gonna even put that there because the real point is us breaking structure to the downside. Right? That's the main thing you want to see, is a break of structure to the downside, which happened right there, which told us that price has a higher potential of going lower because we're shifting from an uptrend to a downtrend. They also call this a change of character. Same thing as a break of structure, essentially. Structure is being broken on a change of character. So that's a BOS. And what happens? We come back to retest and price sells off pretty significantly. That's a very clean example. And you can even go higher as well. If that's your stop loss, you can identify the first break of structure. So if this is an uptrend, you're making higher highs and higher lows. What was the first break of structure to the downside? Right here. Full body candle to the downside. That was the first bearish break of structure. Because before that, we're just breaking to the upside. Break of structure, break of structure, break of structure to the upside. And then the first one to the downside happens right there. Once that happens, people are same stop loss, but now they're selling in that area. You have 3 days. Price retested these lows 3 times and then sold off significantly. And then most people took some partials here because we were retesting. Anytime price comes back to retest a previous low or high, there's a chance or a possibility of price reversing. So that's why you see that happening. People are taking some money off the table, whether that's all of the trade or half of it or 90%. And then once we get another break of structure to the downside beneath these, then you can add on more positions, which you had 2 days to do so. Price came back and it was in this area for 2 days, even respecting this imbalance right there. Boom. And I was gonna make an imbalance video, but I'm just gonna keep the one that I made originally. Like you can't really explain it any differently than that. Like that's an imbalance, like or the block. Like that's just what it is. But with structure, you can kind of explain it in different ways. And as you can see here, we're diving a little bit deeper. But that's another confirmation right in there, and you see price sold off significantly, but not for long because all of this accumulation over here. More breaks of structure to the upside that happen, like boom. If you look here, quick tangent, prices breaking structure to the downside over and over, right? Giving us that downtrend, very nice, very nice. And then that first break of structure to the upside happened right here, boom, retested. And then we had several days, and then sniper So this distribution sold off nicely, but the fact that price is overall uptrending, let's not forget that buys are ultimately going to be what we're looking for in these markets, essentially. And yeah, it sold off nicely, but where did it sell off to? Back to this accumulation, right? So super clean, super clean, super clean. And we've been calling all these out together as a team, as a group. And this next play here can be huge. So let's tap in. We're looking for all this together. We're going to be looking in these areas. We're going to be waiting for the confirmation. I would love to see this happen somewhere in this area. Here, 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 anywhere. Because the stop loss is technically all the way down here. If this is the original play, boom. Can we get something like that? Who knows? Who knows? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm kidding. But let's get it.